can I do my own maintenance? We get asked a lot. If I own the property and I hire a property management company, I may have my own list of vendors, or maybe home warranty. I kind of like to do my own maintenance. Will you allow me to do my own maintenance, or at least will you use the vendors that I prefer to use if I work with you?
Right. The short answer is we prefer that you don't. We want to be in control. You really have to earn your trust with us that you can handle it in the proper way. Shorter answer is, if you wanted to handle the big maintenance turns and the big CapEx projects on your rental while it's vacant, we understand that. We can handle those for you. But other than that, we need to ensure that vendors are licensed and insured, that we have the right tax ID to be able to 1099 them at the end of the year, that all of their people are covered. We also need to ensure the amount of communication and photos before, during, and after that they take. So we have our own preferred vendors. We also have our own sister company with about a dozen W-2 that do swing the hammer, install the smoke detectors, clear the sewer lines, and do that work.
Yep.
And TJ, with you running operations, I'd love for you to add anything else and put any other color on this.
Yeah, well, I like what you said about the photography, right? Because part of our standard, when we're in control 100% of maintenance, in our vendor agreement, they certainly have to have the vendor has to have the right licensing if required, proper coverage for insurance, and before and after photos, right? And then that all goes into our software, where we wait to pay a vendor until we actually have the photos. And I could give so many different examples of how that has saved us as a management company, or our clients, the property owners, from any potential lawsuits of this person didn't show up, or they didn't do that, or they broke this, or it's photographic evidence.
Yes.
And we also have our reserve with our clients, right? So typically anything under $500, we take care of. If it's over that, we seek owner's approval. Mm-hmm. And we have found before that if we use other vendors, they're just not as familiar with that process. And then, oh, here's that surprise bill that we weren't expecting to get.
Right.
And so I would say the same thing. If an owner did have a vendor they preferred to use, we would still put them through our system. They would still have to complete the application process. They would still go through that. And one of our metrics for the maintenance team, for when it comes to daily maintenance, and for us, daily maintenance is a tenant submitted a work order for a leaky sink, or a myriad of different examples. We like to have that work order closed, and we track this. That work order closed in 5 business days or less.
Okay.
Because then that's when reviews can come online. Job didn't get done. It sat around for a while. And so that's why we prefer to use our own vendors.
Right. Now, what's nice is the owner, we can flip a switch and basically inform the owner when maintenance is coming up. And we have dedicated, so the way our business is set up is that every property is assigned a property manager. Some companies, nobody's assigned to any one property. It's just, oh, it's maintenance, call that person. Oh, you have a vacancy, call that person. Oh, there's a move out, call a different person. And it's very frustrating towards the client. We've studied this over the years. It is more profitable to run a management company that way, but it's better service to run it what we call the portfolio way. So right now, every property has a property manager. They manage our own rental properties, right? As they do hundreds of other clients for thousands of other units. They can learn which owners want to be involved in different facets. So for instance, what we don't want to do is draw this line in the sand and say, oh, you have a new roof that has a warranty? Nope, sorry, we're not going to send out the vendor that no, absolutely. If you bought the appliance from Lowe's and it's still under warranty, we don't need to send out our tech. We are frugal as investors and as property managers. So you have to have the give and take. You have to live in the gray area a bit. If you've had the same oil furnace that's been serviced for 20 years by the same firm. Okay, we just need to make sure that that firm is set up, or you handle, Mr. Client, the annual service, but you have to let us know so we can let the tenant know and handle those types of things. So I'd like to believe that our system is flexible enough where an owner can get the advantage of their own quote unquote vendors, but then it is scalable enough and has the right level of detail that we can remain in they're in ultimate control, but we can execute upon a plan and a promise for their rental property so they can get back to investing, living their life. Nobody wants to own rental properties for the sake of owning rental properties. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to own something that you're not, a house you're not going to live in? You want it for the shirt behind me. You want it for a level of freedom is really ultimately what you're after. Financial freedom, inner freedom, that's a whole nother topic that we could get into. But yeah, hopefully that answers the question on how maintenance is handled. Vertically integrated for us means that we also have grass crews, snow crews, HVAC techs, master carpenter mechanics, full-time electrician, and many times our rates are as competitive with the market, sometimes better, sometimes not as better. So that's the other thing that we have to contend with is what vendor are we sending out to what work order? And you can only imagine how chaotic it would be to start managing other folks that aren't within our network. And, they go by the beat of their own drum. Doesn't work out too well.